the moment you can't like answer that question, that is when you know you've actually lost yourself in the process of caring for someone else. So hello, my darlings, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Gladys Nyambura, and if you're a new viewer, please make sure you hit the subscribe button for more. Yeah, so I woke up today and I thought, why not talk about women? I am a woman. Why not talk about female individuals? Why not talk about ladies? Why not talk about girls? Why not talk about this gender? Yes. And the one thing I want to talk about is how women lose themselves. Yes, this should be quite fun. Let me know what you think about the topic. Yeah. Uh-huh. From the time that we are born, as we're trained to take care of the society. From the time that you were born, when you were being raised in your mother's house, you were being taught roles, you were being taught not to be lazy, you were being taught how to cook, you were taught how to take care of your younger ones, or when just anyone, even if you were the last born, you were taught how to stay in the house, how to take care of your loved ones, be it your siblings, be it visitors. That is how we were taught. Have things changed quite? I don't know. It's been long since I was young. Kidding. Yeah, so ever since we were little, we were taught to like how to be responsible. That's the main term for it. We were taught how to take care of other people first. And I feel like, yeah, you were taught how to be responsible, take care of others, put almost put others first. Like, do not put your needs first. And so, yeah, and this brings me to fast forward when you grow up, when you become an adult, and before you become an adult, you go through schooling and all. You meet friends, you make friends, and so now that you're an adult, let's say you want to, you like you've just finished school. Maybe just let's just have any let's just have let's not have like a like campus or high school or primary school or whichever. Let's just say the stage at which you now get to a situation where you are married, right? And this is just from my observation, and I welcome other people to like challenge this discussion. And I tend to feel like let's take a scenario of someone who's just finished campus, got a job, and now maybe let's say this lady happens to like get married, right? Um, you get married, and the expectation from your man, not even from your man, but the expectation from society and from your in-laws, and the pressure from how you are taught to be responsible by your mom back home, that pressure is going to make you be that young girl that you were years back before you actually like got to be with this man or something. And so you will tend to be very responsible. You want to play the perfect wife, and also from observing your parents, you want to build your relationship and you want it to be perfect. Like you want to play the role of a wife and you want it to be perfect. Let's say if it's cleaning, you want to clean your house and you want it to smell nice. If it's cooking, you want to cook the best food. Most women do not enjoy men eating out there and then the man coming back to the house full. I feel like that makes ladies angry because I'm your wife. Like, I just cooked food at home. Why would you go out there and eat and then come back home? You're full. Like, who do you expect to eat this food? And just from observation, that makes so many women angry. And uh, I'm also a woman, and I feel like it's the little things that make women angry. And so, yeah, you're busy playing perfect wife. You really do not want anything in return apart from appreciation or the use of common sense. If you make food, you want someone to come home and eat it. If you clean the house, you expect let's not call husband someone, but you expect your husband to be a little bit considerate, like not to walk in a clean house with muddy boots, you know? I feel like it's the use of common sense that makes these things work, you know? And also, there's this saying that goes, communication is key. I feel like communication in a relationship is always the best thing. If you have a problem with your partner, why not discuss it with them, you know? And so I find that most women really struggle with that, and women want to be heard, and women want to hear men's opinion, but it just so happens that men do not like express themselves that much, and so they would like pile stuff up such that maybe one day when they're ticked off it explodes, you know. And I feel like this is stuff that, I'm not saying all men do this, but I feel like this is something that men need to like adapt to. This is something that men need to like try and be comfortable with, like having candid conversations with their wives, you know. And maybe most of them do not have these conversations because the wives end up judging them, or maybe the whole scenario makes them look weak or something. And traditionally, men are supposed to be these strong people, and a man cannot afford to be seen weak, especially in a family setting, because he is like the head of the whole system. And I feel like if a man cannot talk to a woman, and if a man should feel weak after talking to a woman, I feel like that the main cause of this whole problem is the woman. Yeah. And so there should be that cool or that comfortable atmosphere for him to like talk about his stuff, you know? Like in the same way we talk about our stuff to like our men. I feel like men should also be comfortable to like talk about anything, you know? Yeah. And so let's get back to losing, let me say losing ourselves, because I'm also a woman. I'm actually feeling a bit cold. Yes. Well, I mean, like, at once I just love this. Yeah. So, you just became a wife, and you're playing the perfect wife. You're doing everything right. You just gave birth to children. You're just concentrating on your career. Everything is perfect. But most of the times, let's get this straight. I personally, it's just that times have really changed, but I so advocate for like wives to stay at home. Only that right now, it like women cannot afford to do that because times are tough, and like there's need for like income from both of us, you know. And so, but if it were possible, I would actually advocate for women to like go back and stay at home. And for any man who can actually provide, a woman, I don't refute the fact that they are career women. right? And also like the fact that we've had like feminism since 1960. I tend to feel like women and also social media, call it the entire society, has redefined feminism such that you find that women are now trying to be like men, which is so wrong. And the whole idea of feminism by Thatcher was to like advocate for equal rights for women. But with time, women have, no, can I say women? I feel like the society has really redefined feminism such that the role of men in society is not really seen, you know? And it just happens to be so sad because in the process men are being demeaned, or men just end up being suppressed. The role of men in society is no longer respected, you know. And I feel so sad about that. And I feel so sad especially about I feel sad especially for my generation because um like right now, right? Um, let's say in the 1990s, women my age were probably married and with children and in very happy marriages, and they were traditionally committing to their husbands. And if you've monitored closely, marriages that happened in the 1990s, 80s, 70s, a bigger percentages of those marriages are still intact. That like those marriages tend to work. If your parents were married during that era, they're still together. There may be relationship issues. There may be I've actually like heard a scenario of couples who have like been through what is it called, infidelity, but they still are together because like at the end of the day, the role of a woman is to take care of the family. Like women tend to like overlook so much stuff. And even right now, I'm not saying that women have really changed. It's just that women have got a voice right now. And can I say we misuse that voice? Can I say like we use the voice that we've been given as an excuse to like get out of stuff? A woman, we hold so much in the society. We are the source of human life. We've been gifted in such a manner that anything has to happen through a woman. If it weren't for a woman, would there be any human beings surviving here? Not quite. And a woman in a family setting, if you're newly married, a woman is the man is the head of the family, right? And the woman is the neck. There's absolutely no way the head will move in whichever direction without the neck. It's the power that women hold that will make this man the best version of himself. And so, let's say, at the end of the day, I feel like, and this is through observation, I feel like women do so much and they are not properly appreciated. Yes. And I won't like criticize anyone out there, but there are sorts of people out here like advising men wrongly. Like I won't like mention anyone, but there are sources out here. There are like certain websites that tend to like advise men not to like commit to being okay. Actually, what happens is that they tend to like make the whole role of a man, of, or maybe call it a husband or a boyfriend or a fiance, to be sort of a task. I think that sort of encourages laziness in men. Yeah, you might be making money out of this, but at the end of the day, what message are you like really, really trying to like pass to like the younger generations? You see, at this stage, most individuals tend to take lessons, tend to take advice from social media. And so, if you go around telling men, you know what, you do not have to settle, you do not have to settle for one woman, you can have as many women as you want, I mean, like, that's sick. And so these guys like go on and on advising men, do not be husband, do not be, like, like, it's like the whole issue of commitment is being advised against by these people. And so I feel like that is a very, very sad generation. And you know what, um there used to be a time when statistics showed that the percentage of, I mean, like, the ratio of men to women was like, I think, 1 to, maybe call it 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, like, I don't actually like buy that fact that the number of women to men is higher. I don't buy that fact. And so I feel like that has also like contributed to like uh these cases of like broken marriages. Yeah. And so let me get to that. There's a tendency of relationships like breaking, and I think most men are influenced by the fact that they think that the number of women is higher than the number of men. And so they feel like, I'm not saying everyone, I'm just saying some. And can I call, let me not be disrespectful, but let's say you're in a relationship, you get tired, and you decide, you know what, I can easily get another out there, you know. And so you leave this sacred relationship, the only one that God knows. You leave this marriage that they only, like, God only recognizes this one, and you go out there. At the end of the day, you'll find that that was the person who was like intended for you by God. And when you're out there, you probably like end up miserable. Why? Because you didn't live for the right reasons. Like, the Bible allows for you to live when there's infidelity, right? Or maybe when death do you part. But you see, the thing is, I feel like the fact that, as in, I feel like all these theories, all like, as we continue living, like day by day, there are so many theories coming up, and all these are like influencing the whole setup of a family. And so let me get back to a woman. So let's say this, and it's actually like so sad, because these men advising men against commitment in marriages and in relationships, it's so sad. Like, there are married men who actually listen to these guys. And I mean, I feel like your only source of information should be your religious background, or maybe your mom and dad, or maybe very, very close friends, or individuals who have a successful marriage. That is where your source of information should come from, not from someone who's newly divorced, bitter about their life. I mean, like, I believe in marriages, and it would be so wrong for me to like go around and advise people against that. I believe in the institution of marriage. I believe that marriage is beautiful. Like, I know it is beautiful. And I believe in love. I do, like, and it would be so wrong for someone who does not believe in the institution of marriage, love, commitment, all that stuff, to like go around advising women against all that stuff. Like, just let people have their own experience, let people enjoy their lives. And I'm not saying there are people who like being single, and well, I also like that for you, but do not go around like advising people against being married. Like, if someone is married, let them stay happy. Like, that's where the happiness is. If you are single, stay single, as in that's where your happiness is. But let's be real, for how long do you want to be single? It's unrealistic. How long do you like want to walk into your house and you're like all alone? At the end of the day, you're a human being, you need a companion. And I think with age that gets worse. You need someone to be there with you, someone to like share your whole day with, someone to share like the good moments with. It's the little things that really matter in life. It's the little things that make human beings who they are. And so, let's say like this married man listens to these guys who actually advise men against marriage. I actually saw a post where um, it was so negative, and I saw this post and I was so shocked because this guy was okay, this guy was like advising men against paying dowry. He was he was advising men against paying dowry because um in like he thinks that paying dowry, he was comparing paying dowry to like prostitution. He like, this is what he said. I'm not really quoting, but I'm just like trying to remember what was in that post. And he was saying, what is the difference between, okay, you take a woman and you pay in Africa, in our traditional, in our cultures, in African cultures, livestock is a value. Livestock is valued as dowry, and also nowadays, you have to like throw in a few shillings. And the guy was like, assume you take a woman and you pay 1 million Kenya shillings, and then you also like have livestock taken as dowry to this lady's home. What? And the guy was like, do the math. Like, take 1 million Kenya shillings, divide by, say, so like that is 1 million, right? And also like add the value of the cows in terms of cash. You'll probably like end up with almost 1.5 million, or maybe 2 million. And the guy was reasoning like this: why don't you take that money and get yourself a hooker every single day? Like, why pay bride price to like remain with one woman your entire life? And oh my god, that is just so sad. And this is a grown up actually like doing such posts. I won't like really judge this individual because he's probably in his 40s or 50s, and I haven't been there yet, and so I do not know what his experience in relationships is. Maybe like, funny enough, you could actually like find this guy is married and very happily married, or maybe you could find that this individual is divorced or something, you see. But you see, why not care about the other generation? Why not care about your future, like the future of your children? If not your own children, your nephew, niece, your cousins, they're still people younger than you. Why advise men against such? Why advise someone to like invest in prostitution? There's a woman, there's a man out there for every woman. And so do not be fooled. For how long? For how long will you like every single day get a hooker every single day? For how long will you do that? Like it's actually like a waste of money. Why not like just get someone who will make you more money than that? And like it goes like this guy goes on and on and on. Like I actually like stopped reading because I actually like found that to be a little bit dumb, but I won't actually judge the guy because I don't know where he's coming from. It could be his line of thoughts is due to like a failed relationship, and so maybe he like invested so much in that, and so why judge? I will not judge that. And so let's get back to women losing themselves. So let's say a woman is married to actually like a man who listens to these men, these influencers out there who tell men, do not commit, come back home at whatever time you feel like, that is your house. Do not listen to a woman, do not do anything. Like, those kids are not yours, go and have fun. Like, it gets that bad. Like, I've actually like read such posts from other people. And like, I'm a physical being. Obviously I want to like come across motivational quotes, Bible verses, but being a physical being in this physical world, I'll definitely come across such. It's like saying that you're a Christian and therefore you will not sin. Yeah, we try not to sin, yes, and that is the goal, but you're a physical being. You're likely to like walk out of the door and see something and you sin right there and there, as in it's but the grace we have from God like allows us to like keep repenting and repenting genuinely. And so let's talk about this woman. Let's talk about Carol. So Caroline is married to Kevin. That's quite a common name. So let's say Carol is married to, let me say, Brian. So Carol is married to Brian, right? Carol has been the perfect wife. Carol has been. And let's get one thing straight. The moment you get with a man, the moment you become someone's girlfriend, and I know people keep advising against this, but the moment you become someone's girlfriend, the moment you become someone's fiance, the moment you become someone's wife, you're fully committed to this individual. And for it to work, ladies, you have to be submissive. And so in this scenario, Carol manages to like become the girlfriend. She's very, very hardworking, such a good wife. The in-laws love her, and she's now been promoted to a wife. And so Carol is there. Carol gives birth to children. The first child, fifth child. No, let's give Carol two children, right? Or maybe let's give Carol three children. I like children. So Carol gives birth to three children, and so in between the second and the third child, Brian realizes that he also has a right. He doesn't have to like be burdened by this family, and he doesn't have to like provide for this family. So Brian is the man of the house, and Brian feels like, why don't I go out and have some fun? At the end of the day, I'm the one providing. Like, where can Carol go? She has three children. She can barely go back to her parents' house. In fact, I paid bride price for her. She can go anywhere. And so Brian goes on and on, and in the process, Brian comes home at around 3 a.m. Brian comes home drunk. Brian is always on his phone. Brian is calling someone in the middle of the night, or maybe Brian has become suspicious and is taking calls, not in the presence of Carol, and these pieces of Carol. And let's get to the worst case scenario. Carol realizes that, and God forbid this from happening to this imaginary couple. So Carol realizes that Brian has someone on the side, and Brian is getting this advice from someone else, and so he's been the perfect husband for the past 10 years. But lately, he's been getting some advice from social media and also from other friends of his who follow this influencer, and so he's there. Carol realizes that his man is cheating, like his man is unfaithful. And what does Carol do? Carol gets hurt. Carol has 3 children who are her life, and so what does Carol do? The first thing she'll do, and this is just in my opinion, the first thing she'll do is try and see how she can overcome such dishonesty. And that is the greatest betrayal, I would say. And the first thing she'll do is try and be strong for this one time. She will be strong, she'll stay strong, but every time she sees Brian, she remembers of what he's done. And so she will stay strong, but deep down she's hurting. Deep down her heart has been ripped apart. Deep down she knows she has 3 children, and so she has to like figure out her life. So deep down, Carol is just there. She cries every single day, but manages to put a smile on her face every time the husband is around. Or maybe she gets out of the door to maybe go shopping or whatever it is. And so Carol is hurt. What can she do? She has no job. Or let's even say she has a job, right? But you see, her job is not as important. Carol's most important thing is family. Carol has gone through a lot. 3 children and counting, you know? Because, I mean, like, the husband likes children as well, and so they're likely to have more in the future. But it's 10 years into the marriage, and Carol is still hurting inside, and so, yeah, there she is. The husband decides to, like, call it quits, and so let's say Carol doesn't have a job, right? The husband calls it quits, and so he wants a divorce or whatever it is, and maybe he has like a younger girl out there without children, and so he wants to like start up a life with that young girl, and so Brian goes. He's no longer home. What happens to Carol? And I think this is where my point comes from. It's been 10 years, right? We've all been, okay, most of us, let me not generalize, but most of us have been through a breakup. Let's say you were with that person for, let's say, you started dating like 2 years ago, and then you got into a relationship that lasted for, call it a whole year. Yes. For women, I welcome any man to like discuss this. For women, it takes 3 years. Like it doesn't matter how long you are in a relationship, but for a woman, it takes longer. From the moment you guys like started dating, going out, from the moment you told her like, let's get exclusive, from that moment that you told her that, that is how long it will take her. From that moment to the day that you broke up, that's how long it will take her to like actually get over the fact that you are no longer in a relationship with her. And double that, if that was like 2 years, double that, that will be almost 4 years. And so, or maybe let's say 3 years, or maybe let's give it 2 years. And so it will take that long for like a woman to like actually get over the fact that she wasted that period of herself with someone, and that is quite sad. And so Carol, let's not give Carol a job. This is the worst case scenario. And so Carol is out there, no job, nothing, 3 children. Is she pregnant? No, let's not make her pregnant. That would be too much. And so Carol is out there. Carol has been married for 10 years. Carol has been living her life to please this man and to be the perfect wife. Let no one lie to you out there. Women live their lives to please the man that they love. Carol has pleased this man for 10 years. Carol has been living her life for the husband and the children. So what will happen to Carol? You realize that Carol does not have her own life. There's no more Carol. There's just Madam Brian, Mrs. Brian, Mama Baby 1, Mama Baby 2, and Mama Baby 3. There is no more Carol. Carol ceased to exist like 10 years ago. Carol, back then, Carol liked soap operas. Carol liked a certain musician back then. Carol liked certain foods back then. Carol liked hanging out with a different crew back then. And so all this stuff is not available to her anymore. Why? Because it's been 10 years. Carol liked her room at her mother's house. The room is no longer available to her because it's been made a guest room. And now it's no longer Carol's room, rather, it's a guest room. And so Carol ceased to exist like 10 years ago. And so I feel like at the end of the day, women simply cease to exist as an individual the moment you like get committed to like one a relationship, a marriage. And I feel like that's why it hurts so deep, because I once saw this post, and I've been seeing it like several times, where someone says, that person you're supporting or that person you're helping so much will one day say that you actually helped them, but they didn't ask you to actually help them, and they'll actually be right, you know, and that should cut deep. It should. And so Carol is out here. Brian didn't ask Carol to like give up what she loves for him. And Brian is actually right. Brian is right. This is a hard pill to swallow, bitter pill to swallow, painful. Brian didn't ask Carol to give up the Carol show. He didn't do that. Brian simply asked Carol to be his wife, not to give up her career, not to give up what she loves to do. Brian did not ask Carol to like please him and forget about herself. Carol used to like heels. Carol used to hang out. Carol used to love working out. Carol used to have like this killer body. Brian didn't ask Carol to stop going to the gym. Brian didn't ask Carol to stop wearing heels. Brian did not ask Carol to stop doing her daily makeup routine. But it's been 10 years, the marriage is over, and Carol thinks to herself, Brian did this to me. Sweetheart, no, Brian didn't do that to you. You did that to yourself. In one of my previous videos, I indicated the fact that a wise man once said, the first step to failure is trying to please everyone. And in the process of pleasing Brian, in the process of being the perfect wife and mother, in the process of being the perfect daughter-in-law, Carol lost herself. Let me ask you, Carol, did Brian stop being Brian? No. What Brian did is that he added that title, that role of a husband to his daily life. But what did Carol do? Carol simply gave up her life to stay committed. And this is where I feel like women go wrong. She simply gave up her life and decided, I want to be Mrs. Brian. And it's all about Brian. It's all about pleasing Brian. It's all about pleasing Brian's family. You see, like, that's where Carol went wrong. And like, in like, that is simply how you lose yourself as a woman, and it is a very, very, very bitter pill to swallow. Am I saying that right? Is it a hard pill to swallow or bitter pill to swallow? Yeah, you know what I mean. And I make mistakes in my videos. Isn't that the fun of it? And so Carol is out here. Where should she start? Do you know Carol will go back to who she was 10 years ago and pick up her pieces from then? Like, this is so, so sad. Like, this is such a sad reality for women. And from just observation, I've seen couples that um the woman gets married, she has children, 3 children down the line, she realizes that, you know what, it's high time I get a life of my own. Keep in mind, this woman has been the stay-at-home kind of mom. She has been. And so she's been the perfect wife. The husband has been happy. The husband even gained some weight. Like, the husband is no longer a boy. The husband is actually a man right now. Why? Because of the presence of the woman. And I've actually like observed this, and it's been happening like with so many couples. 3 children later, and the woman wants to like start up something of her own, like get back into her life. And 100, not 100%, but 70% of the time, it doesn't really work. Why? Because the husband cannot really like understand why you want to change. Why has something changed about you? Why weren't you like this when I met you? Like, why weren't you like this from the word go? From the moment we started dating, from the moment you became my wife, from the moment you came to my house, why weren't you like this? So like, I feel like it's very, very necessary for like a woman to just like have your plan. Yes, you want to be a wife. And I also feel like nowadays women tend to like make the mistake of getting married. um I feel like the whole idea of a woman getting married is what really, really entices most women. Like, just getting married, like, women just want to get married. But you see, most of them are not like ready for the marriage bit of it. They just want like a wedding, they want a ceremony, they want that recognition. Like, as we live in the social media era, you realize that what we do most is post pictures, videos of us having such a good time. And so I feel like most ladies are up for the idea of a wedding but not really ready for the marriage bit of it. And so most marriages just end up failing. And I feel like there's always that bit, there's always that counsel that comes in before marriage, advising young couples before like you actually get married, this is what you're supposed to expect. I feel like they should like delve in to the afterlife, like after the honeymoon phase, what to expect. And I mean, I feel like for any man out there, if you're dating someone, if you're dating a lady and you haven't like advanced to like that level of marriage yet, I feel like you should do so. Otherwise, you're wasting her time, because marriage is not marriage is not like marriage is not like, I don't think like marriage is like any different from a normal relationship. It's just that you're taking your relationship to the next level. It's choosing your current girlfriend to like spend the entire life with you. And so I feel like most guys are afraid of that long time commitment, and so are some women. And I think it's quite wrong. And I feel like, especially the current generation, that's where we go wrong. And so Carol goes back to who she was 10 years ago. And so who does she find? She finds a very lively girl, someone who liked to go out, someone who liked swimming, someone who liked um doing something of her own. And ladies, it's always good to like learn a new skill every single day. Not every single day as such, it's unrealistic, but anytime you have a chance to like learn a new skill, please do so. This comes in handy, and like you don't know. And especially anything to do with technology, take that chance. You never know where it comes in handy. And so Carol, let me, oh my god, time. So Carol is out there, she's trying to like figure out who she was 10 years ago, because this entire time she's being the perfect wife. And so Carol tries to like figure out who she was 10 years ago. But again, let's say Carol liked dancing, right? Can Carol actually still continue dancing with three more children? Maybe she can, but being realistic, is it possible? Not quite. Like, she can't afford to like go to that life she used to love, that life of going out, swimming, and what, blah blah blah. And so, what does Carol do? Carol, let's say Carol goes back home and takes the children back home, although most women do not prefer to do that. I am telling you, it's going to be very, very difficult for Carol to like actually get back on her knees. First of all, she needs to sit. First of all, she'll be in denial for maybe the next 6 or 1 year or maybe 2 years, expecting this man to actually like call her back. She'll be expecting him to call her back, maybe tell her, you know what, we can work things out. Does this man call? Barely. The man has moved on. And so, what does Carol do? Carol has three children at her mother's place. If Carol is wise enough, she has like knowledge from school and what. Carol will most definitely try and look for a job. But how long will that even take? Let's say at this point, Carol is around 35 or maybe 36 years old. And so she's not likely to like get employed, because she doesn't have like, she's taken like a 10-year break from her career. And also considering age, the only option she has is probably like start her own business. And so that's what Carol does, starts her own business. And we tried focusing on one thing in one of my videos, and I told you guys that your brain can only concentrate on one thing at a go. Take that home. Your brain can only concentrate on one thing at a go. If if the daily, let's even say Carol was going to work, right? This was her normal routine while with Brian, but in this case Carol didn't have a job. She had like given up everything to be like the perfect wife and mom. And so like her normal routine with Brian was being like cooking, taking care of the children, taking them to school, coming back home, cleaning the whole day. And the moment the hubby is back from wherever, work, or we're hanging out with friends, um yeah, that was her routine. Food is ready. Yeah, that was her daily routine. And so that is what she's used to. Like, that is the kind of wife she imagined in her head she would be. And so Carol starts maybe her own business. Let's say she has little capital, and maybe let's say she starts a business of her own, whichever business she's good at. I see most women end up doing stuff to do with beauty. Let's say Carol starts like her own boutique. She sells clothes, or maybe Carol starts up a salon. She does people's hair. The moment Carol decides to like start up this business of hers, it's not going to be easy. We all know how businesses go. Hmm. I look back, the year 2020, whole mess. Carol starts her own business, and what happens is that this is a little bit of a distraction. Carol knows that the only people that matter to her right now are her children. This is like a year later, right? Carol has been with family, she's been around friends, and so she's like tried to like get over Brian, but the fact is she cannot get over Brian. Yeah, this needs time. And ladies, do not look for rebounds the moment you're out of a relationship. That's actually skunky. I always tend to feel like it's always best to like get out of a situation by dealing with it. Go through the pain, go through the denial process. It's worth it. Not immediately. It's like the results do not show immediately, but go through the denial process, go through the crying period, go through the sympathizing process, go through the hurting process. Hurt as much as you can. Have a look at the good moments you had and just how much you missed that. Have a look at how bad he actually hurt you and go through it. Just go through the process of hurting inside. And the moment that you keep accepting the fact that you are hurt, and do not look for skank. Do not look, if you were in a relationship and it's over and now you want to get like a rebound, do not do that. It's not worth it. And I feel like that's what most ladies do, especially in the cities. It's not. What if you actually like bounce into a disease, and I feel like for me, I've been in a relationship before. Ouch, I hate talking about myself. And so I've been in a relationship before, and when the relationship ended, it hurt so deep. And so, what I did was that I went through the process of hurting. I went through the process of feeling the pain, and before I came into terms with the fact that the relationship was over, like your first love and all that. before I came to the fact that the relationship was over, it took me almost a year to like come to terms with that fact. And even after that 1 year, I still was hurting inside. And so just give yourself time. Do not rush into anything, because the moment you've been like in a relationship, let's say for like 10 years, and the moment that you just come out of a relationship and you fall into another like a week later, chances are you will expect this new man to be the same as the one that you are dating or married to. And that is so wrong. So, ladies, take time and figure out what you want. Take time and deal with yourself. Also, it takes two people. If it didn't work, it takes two people. Find out what the issue is with yourself. If you have to like take therapy sessions, do so. Like just do whatever it takes for you to not like make that mistake ever again. And so I feel like ladies, the moment that like we lose ourselves, the moment we get into a relationship, and the moment, and especially if the man is not supportive enough of your dreams. I have seen men that do not want their ladies to work. All they want is the ladies to like stay at home. When they get home, everything is ready. She's clean for him. The house is clean. The food is ready, and she doesn't like mingle with like other men. And he simply doesn't want her to like have her own life, and that is where like most ladies go wrong. And even if you have like a man who allows you to like have your life beside the one that you have with him, take advantage of that fact about that period. Like take advantage of that. Start up something of your own, such that it will be like a distraction to you the moment that your relationship is over. Assuming Carol was 100% dependent on this man, right now he's not providing support for the children, and for her no upkeep. So what will Carol do? She might even like end up in the streets, end up in a, call it a slum, call it in the worst housing arrangement ever. And so I feel like it's very, very important for ladies, like when you get into a relationship with him, if you like gospel music, do not change your mind and like his music more. Continue liking your own music. Like do not lose yourself. Like if you, what is it, what can I say, if you like dancing and he doesn't like dancing, do not stop dancing just because he doesn't do it. Continue being yourself. It's in that moment of being yourself that helps you heal. It's very, very sad. Let's say Carol has been the perfect wife and the perfect mother, right? It's very sad for Brian to, like, let's say like 5 or 7 years down the line, it's so wrong for Brian to ask Carol. Let me just like generalize this. I know and especially when times get tough, um you've been like a housewife for the longest time. Your life is built, or your daily activities are built around your husband's life. Everything you do is so as to make your husband's dreams and life become easier. Everything you do is to make your husband's dream be achievable like as soon as possible. And it's very, very sad for like one day your husband to like wake up and ask you, by the way, what your plans about your life. That really cuts deep. Because as a woman, like how are you like supposed to answer that, knowing that your entire life you've been living for him? You do everything you do to make his dreams achievable. You do whatever you do to make his life easier. And it is so sad, like just one day he asks you, by the way, what is your plan about your life? That is very, very sad. And you might not be in a position to like actually answer that question at all because you don't even know what you want. And the moment you can't like answer that question, that is when you know you've actually lost yourself in the process of caring for someone else. And so, ladies, that's it from me. Let me know what you think about this discussion. We can always like hold maybe a live or something about it. And so, yeah, that's it from me today. You should have a blessed day. It's on a Wednesday. And so, yeah, ciao, my darlings.